Hey everybody, it's Lon Seidman, and we look at a lot of PCs here on the channel, and one of the trends that I've been noticing over the last couple of months is that I'm seeing more and more PCs with built-in fingerprint readers. This is partly because Windows has its own security feature now that allows for fingerprint readers to verify the user and let them into their PC, and many websites now are supporting fingerprint readers as well for additional layers of security. And if you've got an older PC or a really cheap PC like the one we've got here on the desk today, there's now an option for you. It's from Kensington. This is called the VeriMark, and it's just a tiny little USB dongle, as you can see here. It's got a little fingerprint reading area on the front, and then of course you just plug it into a USB port. And they've got a little case here so you can put a lanyard around it and bring it around to different PCs. And it's fully Windows 10 compatible, so you just plug it in and you can start using your fingerprint to authenticate yourself. So we're going to take a look at this and how it works here in just a second. But I do want to mention, in the interest of full disclosure, this came in free of charge through the Amazon Vine program. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Nobody is paying for this review, and no one is reviewing this content before it is posted. So let's take a look now and see how it works. Now the price on this one is about $50, so it does cost a little more perhaps than some of the other fingerprint readers I have seen, but I do think if you're buying a multi-factor authentication device, you might want to go with a name brand, and I think you'll probably get more accuracy out of this one than you might get from a generic device, because you don't want a misread allowing somebody into your equipment without your permission. It's also compatible with the FIDO U2F standard, so as more sites and apps start supporting that standard for fingerprint authentication, it will work with this device. And I think Facebook and Google through Google Chrome and a few other sites are now working with this device. So you do have some compatibility beyond just Windows with it. On Windows 10, the installation was very simple. In fact, all you have to do is plug it into your USB port, and Windows will install all the drivers for you automatically. One thing, though, is that after that driver installation is complete, it just dumps you back out to wherever you were when you plugged it in. So what you have to do is navigate to your system settings, go to Account, and then go to Sign-In Options, and there you will see a new option for the fingerprint sensor. You go in and program your fingerprints into the device. You can have multiple fingerprints programmed, and then you can get into your computer without having to use a password. So let's get this one up and running here. And what's nice is that you can plug in the fingerprint reader even after the computer is booted up to get into it. So I've got it on my lock screen here. I can just hold my fingerprint down and it'll let me in. I could then take this out and bring it to a different PC and repeat the process. You do have to set up the fingerprint, though, on every PC that you own, because it is storing that data on the computer itself and not on the dongle here. So if you do lose the dongle, you don't have to worry about your data going with it. It is just a reader and nothing more than that. Now, optionally, you can install a password manager to allow you to log into your favorite websites automatically. So what will happen is when you get this software installed, it will put plugins on most popular browsers, and when you're typing in your username and password, it'll ask if you want the password manager to remember it. So the next time you come back to that site, all you have to do is use your fingerprint to log in. It's okay, but I'm not that crazy about it for a couple of reasons. The first is that the installation process is not as simple as it was to install the hardware in the first place. It just gives you a big zip file you got to download. You have to extract that zip file, run the installation software, and then go through the process of getting it set up. Not so hard for techies, but generally for consumers, I think they want a more guided process than a zip file that they have to figure out what to do with when it arrives on their computer. So that was strike one there. Strike two is that it doesn't always work so well with every website you log into. So here's a great example. This is Outlook.com. Where I've got a junk email account set up. Now you can see here it's got the sign-in screen, and it's telling me up here to touch to sign in, which I will do now by touching on the fingerprint reader. It's putting in my account, and then it puts my password in, and then it jumps me right back to the sign-in screen here. It's just not working correctly with this particular website, and I would imagine many others will have the same problem, because this is not using some FIDO authentication standard. It's basically taking the username and password out of its database and scripting a process in which it's typing it into that form, hitting the next button, and going to the next screen. And right now, it's just not working properly for me here, and I would imagine this will not be an isolated case. But my biggest gripe with the password manager is that it's not helping users develop better practices for their account security. Namely, a good password manager should be encouraging the user to keep a separate password on every website that they visit. It's a very difficult thing to remember all those different passwords, but a password manager does just that. It manages those for you. This doesn't seem to do that. There's no tool to generate a secure password, nor is there any kind of prompt that comes up, at least in my testing, that will encourage the user to put in something unique while they're setting up a new account somewhere. I use a password manager called LastPass, and what it does is that when it detects that I'm setting up a new account somewhere, it'll actually prompt me to generate a secure password with it, just a big long string of gibberish that it manages. But there's a different string of gibberish for passwords on every site that I visit, so if one site gets compromised, nobody will be able to log into another site with my username or email address. And it's been a very important tool for maintaining my personal security. And unfortunately, a device that has software that's supposed to make you more secure should be really enforcing that. And this really doesn't do that. So my advice would be use it as a fingerprint reader. We're going to be seeing more of this U2F stuff happening on the web. Google, Facebook, Dropbox, and a few other sites are using it already. You don't need that Kensington software for that. It's a function of Windows 10. If you are, though, on Windows 7 and 8.1, you will have to install the Kensington software to be able to get all of this authentication working on your computer. So it is very seamless with Windows 10, not so much with Windows 7 or 8. But overall, I'm quite pleased with it. It's very quick at logging in. It's also very good at not doing false detections there, as you can see. So if I use my correct finger here, it logs in. Very quick to get yourself into your computer, even on something low end, and a very quick and easy way to add fingerprint authentication to your device. And of course, its compatibility with all the U2F stuff, I think, will be important moving forward as well. So that is the Kensington VeriMark, and this is Lon Seidman. Thanks for watching.
Hello, Amazon. I'm here to review this Kensington Fingerprint biometric Windows Hello enabled fingerprint reader. So it works flawlessly. I know there are several for sale on Amazon, and this is just one I randomly went with without really knowing anything about it, and I've seen that most of them get good reviews. So this one works flawlessly. You need a working USB port. It's connected to your PC, and it will be located in Device Manager when you're going to see if the device is connected to your computer. Well, you look up here and you'll see biometric here. So if you're trying to confirm that it's connected properly, that's where it will be. I did not need to install a driver. It automatically loaded the driver in Windows 10. So if you're having driver issues, just make sure this is appearing. If it's not, you might have to go manually fetch the driver from Kensington. You can just Google that. So the fact is, it works out of the box, and the fingerprint reader is very responsive. It's as good as a smartphone in terms of responsiveness. I'll give you a little showing of it. What I was attempting to do was use this to lock the PC, because since I have fingerprint security and it's fast and secure, I wanted to be able to touch it to lock the PC when I walked away and then touch it to unlock it. But I haven't found a way to enable the fingerprint reader when you're just in normal desktop operation mode in Windows 10. So I'm not sure if there's a workaround or something that can enable that. But for now, you can use Windows L. So it'll be Windows key and L. And you go and the computer gets locked. Now, from what I've seen, all of your apps will stay open. So you can literally leave a session and then come back to it. I'm not sure. Other power settings probably dictate when those processes are closed or whether your computer goes into sleep, and etc. But I wanted to have my session completely open because let's say I'm gaming. I don't want my game to quit or anything. So as far as I've seen, locking the PC doesn't affect this. All it does is essentially put your desktop session behind a security wall. So then you just use you see, and you can see how fast it is. I'll give you a better demonstration of that. Oops. It went a little slow because I had it on the tip of my finger. Yeah. So I keep putting the tip of my finger on, and then so it is very sensitive to whether you register more of the tip of your finger or the side or this or that. So just keep that in mind, that the more of your finger that you get, the better it will be. And then also, if you're going to mount it like I have, so you see it's horizontally mounted, then be sure to register your fingertip the way you're going to be pushing it as opposed to that. So, because I had it registered like that, and then I was having more rejections. But there will be some rejections simply because of the narrowness of it. So, I mean, obviously your fingertip is going to be twice or three times the width or the height of that. So there's a chance for misplacing where you've registered on your fingertip, because it'll kind of gravitate towards a section of your finger that you registered. So just keep that in mind. It's not that it's not working, it's just that it's being very sensitive to how you registered it. So, and you can't register the same fingertip over and over. So you'll have to remove one if you have issues, and then re-add the same finger if you're having lots of rejections. So yeah, and I just mounted it with a USB extender cable. You can do it however you want. These USB ports on my PC don't work, and I don't know why, and I don't care, but you know, that's an option, obviously. And yeah, it works great, and I'm going to give a good review on it.
Hello, I'm Michael with Access Granted, and this is the Kensington Biometric Fingerprint Reader. Go ahead and click the Start menu, then click the gear to go to Settings. Next, click Accounts, and then click Sign-in Options. Then under Fingerprint, click Setup, and then click Get Started. So, go ahead and tap your finger on the device on whatever finger that you want to unlock your computer with, and just continue following the on-screen instructions. So you're just mapping your finger right now to the device. And once that gets done, it'll ask you to move your finger and try a different side. So try the sides and then the top or the bottom. Just like so. Go ahead and click Setup PIN. Now enter the password that you log into your computer with. Now set up a PIN. These are just backup ways to log in. Now, press Windows and L key to log your computer. And go ahead and press the device, and it will unlock your computer.